Welcome to Kidmissing TV. I am your host, Angelina Wilson. This is the case of Pierre Alfred Roy. Now, this case, I have some personal information that is going to help to shed some light on this case. He went missing on June 26, 1942, or 43, from Beauceville, Quebec, Canada. He was 41 years old, 5'4", 140 to 145 pounds. He was French Canadian and Canadian Indian. He was 41 years old. Obviously, with a name like Pierre, he was French. He left his wife and 5 children at home in Vernon, Connecticut, to go to Canada for his mother's 50th wedding anniversary. He was last seen in Canada waving goodbye from a bus. His wife divorced him in 1946. Okay. So, one of the things that was being said was that was talking about getting in and out of Canada. Now, things did change with getting in and out of Canada. And someone said that crossing between Maine and Quebec was a joke. You don't go through the traditional border crossings, you just cross. And that may be true if you're on your dirt bikes, your ski-doos, or whatever. You may accidentally cross back. However, if you cross the right way, which you would have had to on a bus, you did need information. And they're saying customs did not ask for IDs. No, that's not correct, actually. I'm going to read you my personal notes on that, and I'm going to show you a document. I know that, first of all, and these were in different time periods. This was in 1924 that I'm going to talk to you about, that this document is from, and I'll explain the document. But I know in 1972, my mother crossed the border, and I was almost not let back into the U.S. because she didn't have a birth certificate with her. But they made a couple of phone calls and realized she was an American and let her back in. Don't know what it took to get into Canada, but I do know in 1924 that my great aunt, my grandmother's sister Josephine, crossed to care for her mother-in-law, and she had to fill out something called a border crossing. Canadian Immigration Service border crossing, February 24th, 1924. I'm going to hold this here so you can read it. I'm not putting a poster up, so it doesn't matter. But this is what you filled out. Basically, you write your reason for being there. Okay, it says, Brisson, Mrs. Josephine, Nyack, Massachusetts. She's married, female. She's going to the home of, oh no, you're going to be accompanied by husband, J. Ellen Brisson. Fishkill, Massachusetts was her birthplace. She's an American citizen. She speaks English and French. And she's Roman Catholic. She is a housewife. Have you ever lived in Canada? No. And her father-in-law, Vitade Brisson, and he lived on Debonair Avenue, something like that. And she was 22 years old. So she had to fill all this out to come into Canada at that time period. And I'm sure in the 40s it was very similar. My family routinely crossed, so I have these for other people as well. Canadian Canadian Immigration Service border crossing sheets. And they had to say how long they're going to be there, what they're going to do there. And as I mentioned, my mom. Okay, so this man wasn't actually a U.S. citizen. He was living here. He was a resident. He was not a citizen. So that may have caught him up in coming back. I don't know how long my great aunt actually stayed in Quebec. I don't know what it says. I'm sure if you looked it up, you could find his border crossing. It says something B&M, 1946, Worcester, Mass. To Montreal. B&M, maybe that's, oh, the train, maybe? Yeah, B&M, Boston and Montreal. And it's the train number and everything. So yeah, she took the train from Worcester to Montreal. Trying to see where it says how long she'll be there. Oh, 946 2924. This is the train, and she came in from St. Albans, Vermont. So what is this Worcester, Mass. To Montreal? I do not know. But like I said, oh, her race is English. Okay. Well, her race wasn't English, actually. It was a little bit of English, but she was mostly French. Thus, the French speaking. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you, and I'm going to Barry and share his case with you because I have some familiarity with those border crossings from Maine, Vermont, because of my own genealogy and my own personal family history. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope it sheds a little bit of light on it. I will see you next time. Please subscribe to all 3 channels. Bye, guys.